Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Canada Day meeting. Today is April 11th, 2024. I call this meeting to order. I'd like to begin with land acknowledgement first. We'd like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Shelburne resides within the traditional territory and ancestral land of Anishinaabe, including Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Chippewa, and the people of Three Far Confederacy. These traditional territories upon which we live, work, play, and learn are steeped in rich Indigenous history and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and present connection of Indigenous people with this land, its waterways, and resources. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to start with adopting an agenda. Is anyone has any amendment to make to the agenda tonight? None. So if that's the case, can someone make a motion to approve agenda as circulated? Brian, seconded by Cheryl. All in favor? We do. Motion carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest. Member of this committee are required to state any pecuniary interest in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Does anyone have any conflict of interest to declare? No. If that's the case, we don't need any motion. Is correct? Perfect. Going into the minutes from February 22nd, 24. It was circulated to you, and if anyone has any chance or any amendment to the minutes circulated. No, all in agreement with that. If that's the case, can we have a motion to approve minute as circulated? Kyle, Brian seconded, all in favor? I do, motion carried. That brings to the agenda 5.0, which is a new business. We are thinking to change meeting dates and times. So I'm just gonna open up the floor. The request to move meetings to Wednesday, consideration, another thing that we are closer to the Canada Day. So twice a month, basically a meeting that we're thinking about. I'm just gonna open the floor. If everyone is in agreement to move the meetings to Wednesday, or any other suggestions, please put forward.
Wednesday's good with me.
Wednesday, good with you.
It's fine with me.
Kyle, good.
Yeah.
Cheryl and Brian.
I'm not available Wednesdays.
Brian. Good. Cheryl, any other day that works for you that we can basically, yes, Alice, go ahead.
So if I could just explain why the request came in real quickly. Jaya is unavailable on Thursdays anymore. So the only night that she is available is Wednesday. And because she is the one requesting it, I don't think it's fair to change it if not everyone on the committee is able to do it. And she is fully understanding of that. So she understands that if we can't change it to Wednesdays, which because Cheryl's not available, it would not be fair to do so. She would then have to respectfully decline, but she would still be open to helping out on Canada Day. And then on that same note, then that would leave a vacancy on the committee. And Sarah has communicated that she would be open to filling the vacancy.
So that's good. Good step forward, definitely. So what do you guys think? Yes, Cheryl, go ahead.
Well, I feel bad now because everybody else is.
No, please don't feel bad, because she specifically said she did not want to change the date if it didn't work for everybody. She will still help out on Canada Day. She didn't want to leave the committee, so if it was a possibility, but she definitely does not want to change it if it means somebody else cannot. She would feel really bad if that was the case. So I think, and I did say to her, based on previous reviews, it was probably best to leave it as is, and she fully understands that. I think Amy also had some issues with changing the date, Cheryl, so you're not the only one.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
so
Thanks for the clarification, Alice. Alice, that is definitely help us a little more. Are we still okay going into Thursdays, guys? Yeah, perfect. All good. So Alice, as it said, it's status quo. We are going to keep our Thursdays. Definitely we're going to miss Jaya, but definitely step forward. She is going to come and help us. That's a great thing. Yeah, good. So I think that we can put that matter to the table about moving meetings to the Wednesday. Considering the meeting twice going forward, basically twice a month. Is there any particular, like, first week in the last week, or second and fourth, I guess, maybe? I don't know. What your suggestion, guys? Second, fourth? Everyone is on board with that? Sarah, by the way, a welcome on board. Sorry, I missed that.
So yeah,
Go ahead.
if I can just interrupt there, I can't do the 3rd. I have another committee meeting on the 3rd week of the month, so it would have to be the 2nd and the 4th week of the month. So, and then doubling back to Sarah for a minute. So we have to take it to council, get council's approval for Sarah to be on the committee, which will happen on the 22nd. So then by the next meeting, Sarah would officially be a member.
Officially be perfect. Perfect. Thank you. So second and fourth Thursday of the month would work for everybody. Okay. All right. So if that's the case, Brandon, you're okay with that? Perfect. Are you watching game? So if that's the case, Alice, we definitely take a motion on this. So I'd like to make a motion to continue meeting on Thursday, going into leading up to Canada Day twice a month, which is the second Thursday and a fourth Thursday of the month. Can someone make a motion to adopt? Yeah, sorry, Alice, go ahead.
Just for clarification, is this going to include the month of April? So we would meet again in 2 weeks?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. So as of today, can someone make a motion to adopt? Kyle, Brian, all in favor? We all do. Motion carried, Alice. That brings us to 5.B agenda item, entertainment and activity update. Sarah, go ahead. Sorry, Alice, go ahead.
Sorry, if I can just request that we move to item 5.B2 first, as the crows are online. We can just shift it a little bit so they're not waiting through another discussion. I want to be respectful of their time as they are online.
Sure, it's B2, right?
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So team, we have some speakers today. Our guests today will present us with their involvement for the entertainment and activities. So over to you, Dave or Claire, whoever wants to take it.
Hi there. Can everybody hear us okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. So we were invited to come on today, so I appreciate the invitation. And basically, we're open to kind of hearing what is planned for Canada Day. We understand that there's been some changes to timing. We were very much involved in the last, I believe, 3 years we've been there. And last year we ran the Keller Williams Fun Zone, where we had the bubble soccer and some other activities that that we ran, and we ended up having a few different booths or little tents where we had people who were helping with, you know, providing different games and things like that. So we're just here to kind of more so listen to what you guys propose to us, and as far as what Canada Day, how Canada Day is different this year with the timing and everything that we've just kind of heard through the grapevine. We haven't had any we haven't heard any details from the committee on what the plans are for this year.
Alice, you want to fill us in?
Sure. So far what we are planning on having the vendor market, same as last year. There is no car show planned for this year. There are 2 entertainment acts that will be in the evening and fireworks to follow once it is dark. So far the committee has also gotten a few bouncy castle items that are going to be staffed by the company that is providing those. So it's not committee members running those events. And then we are still looking for sponsors and vendors for the event, and the timing of the vendor show is scheduled from 3 until 8 p.m.
Okay, so the event would start at 3 p.m.
That is correct.
And yeah, so there wouldn't be that space like there was the last few years between the entertainment. It would just kind of flow.
That's what we're hoping for, correct?
Great, excellent. Okay. So, you know, we basically wanted to be on this call just because we wanted to extend our interest in helping as if we can, and just seeing, you know, where we can be involved as far as community members and local business owners to support the community, especially for Canada Day, and see, you know, where you guys as a committee see us fitting in, if we can fit in or help somewhere.
Claire, just more clarification on that point that we were talking about. Now, is there any entertainment activities or any suggestion do you have that we should consider as a committee here?
As far as entertainment goes, that's kind of not our area. As far as we haven't really considered anything as far as entertainment. Nobody's kind of brought that to us or our attention till now. So this is the first we've heard of any kind of involvement with that side of things for Canada Day. Like I said before, what we've done in the past, we've, you know, provided face painting, we've done the bubble soccer. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it's really important to us. We're very community focused, and we just want to be there to support however we can, if we can. You know, I don't know, as far as a debrief from last year, if you felt what we were involved in was successful. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't there. Dave was there with a bunch of people from our team, so I didn't actually get a chance to be there last year. But you know, we just wanted to extend our offer to be a part of it.
Thank you, Claire. And just follow up on that note. What sort of support that were you thinking? I mean, we could continue. You know, we can continue our partnership going into the similar area. What you expressed last year, like a face painting, bubble soccer, and those things. Definitely, it was a huge success. There were a lot of people lined up, was long on that area as well. So it was good that we bring that back to community, and I think there was an axe throwing as well that was there too even. So it was great to see people engaging into those activities during the time. And also want to ask the rest of the committee member if they have any questions, anything they wanted to clarify. This is a time. Yes, Kyle, go ahead, sir.
Dave and Claire, first I want to thank you guys for your contribution that you did last year. It was absolutely fantastic. If you guys are open to doing pretty much the same thing this year, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure what your level of commitment is at this point, but if we do status quo and that works for you guys, I think that would be fantastic.
So here's a question for you guys, because it was a lot of work for us planning all the individual booths. But if you guys are already planning on doing vendors booths, I think we would like to, I think it's better to have the vendors booth separate from kind of what we were doing. Because we tried to coordinate all of that last year on top of like hiring referees, and it was just a lot for us to coordinate. And Dave was kind of a one-man show there last year, other than the co-op students and some help that he did have. This year, you know, our office has changed quite a little bit. It's just really Dave and I that are part of Go with Crow. So, you know, we are only 2 people as far as organizing it. So I think we have to be mindful of that. We want to be part of this. I just would love to hear from you guys. You know, would you prefer us to organize, you know, the vendors market, or would you prefer us to run the bubble soccer? Would you prefer us to sponsor some face painting? You know, I don't believe that we can do it all. This is our busiest time of the year, and it's exceptionally busy for us this year. So, you know, we can't be committing to organizing everything ourselves, but we absolutely want to be involved and want to be there to help you guys.
Yes, Kyle.
Okay, so what if we ask you guys to organize the bubble soccer, and I'll put it to the committee. What I would suggest is, can we give them a vendor's booth at the same time? I think their contribution doing the bubble soccer absolutely validates that they should have a free booth.
For sure. I mean, that's my point of view as well.
Does that work for you, Claire and Dave?
That does, like, that's similar to what we do with the fall fair, where we contribute to the fall fair with paying for the face painting, and in turn we get a booth at no cost. And, you know, I think that would be great. I want to propose back to the fair, the board here, the Canada Day committee, you know, from a marketing perspective, we were really happy last year with the marketing that the Canada Day committee did, as far as calling it like the Keller Williams Fun Zone. If we organized a similar kind of thing where it was bubble soccer with a few other games, like we did cornhole and a few others, would you guys be open to doing like a Go with Crow Fun Zone as part of the Canada Day promotion?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I mean, I'd even be open to going out the day before and helping you chalk some lines, Dave.
Okay, thank you.
I know you're a guy.
need the help.
The only thing that I want to interject, though, cornhole, we do have another, and this is going to be coming up later on in the meeting. There is another volunteer from the Legion who has secured their cornhole, so they want to offer that as well. But that, again, that's coming up later on in this discussion. So maybe,
that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
we wouldn't, whether we did it all in the same area or we just didn't do the cornhole, like the bubble soccer is quite a big thing to do. And then
Sure.
the other thing that we wanted to propose, if you were happy with us doing the bubble soccer last year, we wanted to propose this year and just run this by you. Instead of offering it for free, offering it by donation to Streams Community Hub. So people participating would give some kind of a donation to play, you know, 5 minutes or 10 minutes of bubble soccer as a donation that will go back to our community, that would go specifically to Streams.
Before I hear from anybody, Alice.
So unfortunately, because we receive funding from the federal government for this event, we are not allowed to advertise or specifically request charge admission or request donations. So the committee has in the past, you know, put buckets out for donations as people are coming in for Canada Day. So far that has seemed to be acceptable. So, you know, you just have to be really careful, because based on the grant that we are getting, we are not allowed to specifically require it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense as far as not advertising it on social media or any marketing material, but it sounds to me like we might be able to put a little jar with the Streams logo on if people want to donate.
Sure.
Sure. All right. Any question from the committee before Claire and Dave? Yeah, Alice.
Yes, so I just double checked the invoice for the inflatables, and one of the inflatables that the committee has already committed to renting is an axe throwing inflatable. So just so that they're aware of that. So I would suggest, Claire, once you guys have a better idea of, in addition, because we were definitely really hoping for the bubble soccer, so that's great news on that. And if there's anything other particular activities wise, if you could let us know. And then we can make sure as much as possible not to duplicate too many things.
That's good to know. It could even be like different professional partners involved in, maybe contributing to this with us as well. And they might have some different activities or different ideas that they would like to contribute as well.
Yeah, like last year, there was a mortgage broker and a home inspector that both brought some pretty cool activities. Like I said, I wasn't there, but I know one of them offered, snow cones and the other one did the axe throwing. If we're helping kind of solicit some people for the fun zone, would there be a cost if they were going to be providing something like last year back to the participants? Or would they be able to have a tent like they did last year? Like if any of the same people approach us about being involved, could we still have that area where each of the people who had a tent would be offering something to contribute?
Yeah, we can stay as status quo if once committee agree, but Len, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if I recall from last year, there were, like you had said, Claire, there were 2 or 3 vendors, and that was kind of more of where your fun zone included more than one tent or more than one section. Is that more like what you're looking for?
Yes, like we don't want to organize the whole marketplace for Canada Day,
No.
but if there were a few other people like the people we had last year that all contributed something where they're taking their time and expense to provide a game or a giveaway, is that something that we could do again like we did last year?
I don't see why not.
I don't see a problem with that. If
I don't
Claire,
see a problem.
I mean, if Alice could run it through.
So last year, just to clarify, we only involved anybody that was to do with basically buying a home, like insurance, mortgage broker, home inspector, and we, staying away from any other kind of vendor that didn't really relate, so that we weren't interfering with the vendor's market idea itself.
Okay. Dave, so just to clarify, last year, you did have other vendors spaces within your zone, right? So how many
Yes.
spaces, which is fine. How many spaces did you have last year, and how many do you think you'll need this year?
I think if we had 5, that would be lots. I think if we had that would be lots, and it was just all within that area that seemed to work quite well. That was kind of between the road, the swale, and the driveway, like more towards the main building end.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So are we looking then, Alice and Samir, at just giving 5 spaces within their zone? Like we're going to pay something off for them? And is that along the lines of what we're looking at? If that's the case, and I mean, I don't see why not. It did work last year quite well.
Yeah.
And last year, they were awarded a sponsorship, which gave them that number of booths, right? So
Okay.
because of the value of what they were providing, you granted them that level of sponsorship, which gave them those number of booths. that
Okay,
they
so it's
didn't
just
have to pay for. So it would just
Okay.
be that same as last year, passing that motion to award them that level of sponsorship, which gives them X amount of booths, and then they do the go with, and you can make
Yep.
however many, right? So, but then that being said, the sponsorship would be under Go with Crow, but we would include, because there are other companies involved with that, we would advertise them as well in our advertising, but it would be the Go with Crow fun zone or whatever name you're using there.
That sounds great. And we can also communicate with the committee what each of those individuals plan to provide. I don't foresee 5. I think probably off the top, maybe 3. It's hard to get
Yeah.
people out that weekend. But it could be as many as 5, including ourselves.
Yeah, 5 would be like a max number. So basically status quo for even how we had it set up last year, because that seemed to work. And then we can kind of manage, the traffic flow gravitating towards the bubble soccer and other activities. And we're happy to try to kind of coordinate so that we don't have two of the same activity
Mhm.
along with anyone else that's going to be doing something aside from our event.
And I just want to clarify, how long would you like us to be running the Go with Crow Fun Zone? Would it start at 3 and end at 8? Or like
Yes.
from us getting volunteers and referees?
So that could be your decision as well. I mean, ideally, the committee is going to want it the maximum of time as possible. But we want to be respectful of your time and your volunteers' time as well. So if you say to us, we really can't do this to the maximum for 5 hours, then, like we're advertising the vendor part from 3 till 8, but we could say the Go with Crow Fun Zone is 4 till 6 or whatever, right? Like we can advertise it what is going to work for you. But of course, ideally would be the 3 till 8. But, of course, the committee is going to be flexible because you're providing this.
I think as far as setting it up and everything, it would be important to start at 3 o'clock rather than when other people are already there. So I would say 3 to 6 is probably realistic, because 3 hours of bubble soccer is quite a bit.
And we can always amend it closer to, like, if there needs to be a change, right? Like we might be able to not change printed advertisement, but we can confirm, but I'll put in the notes for now, 3 to 6.
Okay, and would we still be involved in the print advertising as far as the Go with Crow Fun Zone and being able to have kind of the same marketing that we could also share on our social media?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yes, Kyle.
The one thing that I do want to talk to you guys about, I don't want to say that it was an issue, but the guy that you had going back and forth getting ice, we need to coordinate with you so that he's not driving through the public.
Yeah, that was, I believe that was Cruson Insurance that was doing that. So I'm sure, if they want to be part of it again, we could probably work that out so that isn't an issue anymore.
Sure, yeah, it's one of those things that we didn't see ahead of time, and it's just one of the concerns that we had the day of. So if we can coordinate that beforehand, I think that will alleviate a lot of the stress that he had, as well as a lot of stress that committee obviously has with him driving through people.
And then the last question I have is insurance. So, we ended up getting kind of the base insurance through Cruson, who we had our office insurance through. Is there anything specific that you guys would require as far as insurance to do the bubble soccer on the property?
Claire, if I can reach out to you about that afterwards, I'll just confirm with senior staff. It'll have to be next week, but I will confirm that and I will communicate that with you.
Okay, thanks, Alice.
Thanks.
Yes, Len.
Yeah, just in regard to the ice situation, I'm wondering if we would have access to the kitchen area that I guess it's the Canet's kitchen, to store ice instead of in their freezers, instead of having to shuttle off property all the time. If we pre-stock, if we can somehow get access to that, those freezers, should have enough ice to make a snow cone or 2 over the course of the 6 hours.
And just on that note, I am a member of the Canets, and there was comment today in our group chat about being asked to provide our services at Canada Day because somebody that you guys had in place had backed out. Is there something that I should bring back to the group about that?
That would be yes, Kyle.
Okay, I'll jump in on that one. So we had a subcommittee that was working on trying to get a beer garden supplied by a local brewery. And apparently we have not heard back from them. So I know that I approached the Canets and asked if they would be interested in running the beer gardens for us. And the feedback that I got was the Canets are definitely interested, but we've got to let you guys know ahead of time, obviously. So at this point, yes, if the Canets are interested, we would love if the Canets could run the beer garden for us.
Okay, I'll take that back to the group. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
If not, somewhat like the donations for streams, you know, we could always just make the Go with Crow Fun Zone extra fun and then just keep the beer on the sidelines, you know, and just not advertise it.
I love it.
A donation for streams if you want to go with Corona.
Uh,
Dave, you are a card.
okay.
I would very much support,
So would I. I'd be all over that.
all right.
Any member of the committee have any other question for Claire and Dave before they depart from us? All clear?
No, I do want to say thank you very much, Dave and Claire, for all of your hard work from last year and also being willing to help us again this year. Trust me, it is very much appreciated.
Yep, I'll second that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm in favor of that. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Take
guys.
care.
Bye. All right, that brings us back to the agenda item 5.B1, update on discussion with fires, Ralph, regarding Selburne and District Fire Department involvement. Alice, who's going to provide that update? Do you have it?
Sure, I can, so unfortunately, we didn't have quorum last month for a meeting, but Ralph was able to attend. So we had a few people on and he presented to those that were on what the fire department could probably provide on that day. And he had a number of great ideas. And so we did record that session and sent it to the members of the committee. So hopefully, if you haven't had a chance to watch that, please do, because Ralph had some wonderful ideas there about the fire department's involvement. So if anyone that was there wanted to touch on it, feel free. Just, you know, the committee just needs to decide yes or no based on that information.
Yes, Kyle.
Yeah, I was at that meeting and what Ralph presented was absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a very, very eventful presentation, or I don't know what the term properly is, but yeah, no, I think the kids will absolutely enjoy it. Yeah, the fire department is very excited to be a part of this, and they're working very, very hard to give us a wonderful event for this day. So yeah, for as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I'm a vote of yes, 100%.
Then I just saw you come off mute. Do you have something to add on it?
Oh, yeah, no, just wanted to kind of backstop what Kyle said in terms of, it sounds like he has a number of good ideas, including, I think they had a junior respirator event, little thing, and there's some other information and some other displays and some trucks and stuff. So it sounds like it's going to be fun to do. Okay, so that's, yeah, just wanted to backstop that. That's in a nutshell.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kyle, and then both of you. Alice, do we need to, or is there any timeline that we need to respond back to the department? Anything that time pressing?
The understanding was that they will go forward with planning this unless we came back to them and told them no, but it doesn't sound like the committee's saying no. So I will just send Ralph an email confirming, Ralph will attend a future meeting just to confirm timing and events so we can make sure we're advertising it. And if there's any changes, we'll ask Ralph to come to a future meeting. He specifically was talking about advertising specific times for specific things so the public would know that at 4:30 is when the firefighter skills drills are for kids, or at 3:30 is the car extraction, right? So people will know if there's something specific. So we'll want to firm that up with him.
Perfect. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Alice, for coordinating this. Do we need any motion on that, Alice? No, right?
No, there's no motion needed on that at this time.
Len?
Alice and Samir, do we need a motion to get to do the whole Claire and Dave thing? Is that something we would need to?
You would need a motion as far as what level of sponsorship you're going to give them and how many booths you're going to give them. You could pass that now, or you could wait until they have a little more details as far as what other groups are proposing to be with them. That will need to be firmed up, whatever level it is going to be, before we start doing the too much advertising. Like as far as, but we'll definitely be advertising Go with Crow, but we want to make sure we know who else we're advertising for before deciding what level of sponsorship to give them.
Okay,
No,
no
that's
problem.
fine.
I figured I thought we left that kind of.
We will have to loop back to it.
Yeah, okay.
We will have to loop back to it, but we'll need a little bit more information from them before being able to make a proper decision there.
Sounds good, Alice. Thank you very much. So that moves us to agenda 5.B3, which is a face painting quote. Over to you, Alice.
And that's actually from Cheryl. Cheryl was able to get a
Cheryl.
quote.
Hi. Okay, so I reached out to Sarah Branning because she was advertising on Facebook that she was a face painter. She would love to be a part of it. Her rate is $40 an hour, and that covers all of her services, including paint. But she's only herself, just by herself. So that's that. I talked to her again this week, so she's waiting for an answer. She'd really like to participate. So,
Len, you have
If
some.
if she needs an extra pair of hands, I've got a bucket of latex and a roller in the garage, and be happy to assist.
oh, you're such a riot.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Alex, or team, I have a question regarding Claire and Dave's presentation just recently. They were actually they were talking about face painting sponsorship as well. Is it something that we need a clarification? Do you think, can we tie Sarah and Claire and Dave team to, get that sorted out on their side? Or what's your thought? Alice, yes.
So basically, like, they did face painting in the past, and they did face painting at the fall fair. The bubble soccer is like next level. It's much greater of a cost to them. I don't think I didn't get the impression that they're looking to do both. And also, every event that I've ever taken my kids to where there was face painting, there's never enough people doing the face painting.
Mm-hmm.
You
sure.
can never have too many face painters at an event with kids.
Thus the reason I offered to help.
Yes, Kyle.
Len, you were just seriously, man. The other problem that we have is I don't believe we have budget for her at this point.
Well, if one of the sponsorships that I was told was comes in, I do think there would be room for a couple of hours.
Okay. but at the point we're at right now, we don't have budget, correct?
You do have enough budget to do a couple of hours of a face painter because the fireworks came in a little bit less than anticipated.
Okay, then I will retract my statement. Just looking at budgets, I want to make sure that we're staying under the threshold.
Brian, or Len, go
Sorry,
ahead.
and it's not going to be a smart ass comment about face painting, just so you know.
That'll be a first.
The sponsorship that we're waiting on, is it one that was discussed earlier on in the year? Do we need to give them another little push without divulging who they are?
I assumed you were.
Okay, I will send that email through those appropriate channels and have that happen.
Great.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Send me an
Brian,
email.
Sorry, Brian, do you have any questions, comment, anything you'd like to add on face painting code?
I think we should book her for the, Cheryl, did she tell you how many hours that she is willing to do it, or is she willing to do the whole 5 hours?
I
Right.
didn't get into that. It's just, she said $40 an hour. And I said that I had to take it back to the committee and I would get back to her.
Like I, in my opinion, is we should book her for the full 5 hours. I know we don't have it in the budget right now, but I know of 2 sponsorships that are coming in too as well, so that's just my opinion.
Thank you for sharing that. Sarah, do you have any comment to make?
No, not really. I agree with Alice that there's never enough face painters, so I worry that just one, I mean, that's going to be some big lineups,
Mhm.
but how 5 hours is $200, but if there's going to be sponsorships and we can afford it, then like kids love getting their face painted, so it's not a bad thing.
All right, Sarah, yes, go ahead. Last comment.
Okay, I'm just looking, sorry, I'm just looking back at her email. She said I can look around in the meantime to see if another painter wouldn't mind teaming up with her, but I didn't say anything until we talked today, so.
Alice, Sarah, would there be any additional charge for the additional painter that will be joining them then? Because that will add up on budget.
I know that's probably the thing though, right? Probably would be, so.
Alice, I think you had your.
Yeah, I just reviewed my notes and Kyle, you had mentioned that you knew of a face painter that you were going to reach out to as well. Were you?
I haven't had a chance to, and I could reach out to Josh Oak. That's
That's the name it was. Yeah. I think it would probably be good because we have one to, we know it'll be a popular event. Even if we didn't book her for the full time, we could like maybe book her for a couple hours. And then if we get more, we could book another person for a couple hours or go back to them later and say, hey, we have more funds. Would you be open to staying longer? Right? Like we wouldn't necessarily have to do the full 5 hours of the vendor market right away, right? We could at least get them on for say 2 or 3 hours, like what's their minimum hours. And then we could always add to it or add more people as more funds are available. But then, this person who's taken the time to provide a quote and is holding the date for us is firmed up that they know that they have the gig for Canada Day.
Yes, Cheryl.
Okay, what about if at least you booked her for the 3 to 6 in coordination with the fun zone?
Sounds great idea to me.
I mean, yes, eventually, if there was more funding later on, we could ask her if she wanted to stay longer, but at least commit her to the 3 to 6 to go with the fun zone type thing.
Sounds good. Kyle, comment?
Well, not a comment. I'm just actually asking the committee. Am I reaching out to Josh and asking him if he's willing to do face painting? I mean, do we have funds for that, or are we expecting funds coming in to cover the cost for him? Or do I just get him to give us a quote?
if I can bet it in there, I would say start with the quote and see if he's available. And hopefully by the next meeting, we'll know if we have some more funds or not.
Fair enough. Okay.
Fair enough. So if that's the case, the sales proposal is to book Sarah from 3 to 6 for 3 hours. What's everyone's feel about that? Are we all aligned with that? Agreement in that? Yeah. If that's the case, Alice, we should take a motion on this one for sure. That Canada Day Committee appoint, I'm going to say appoint, I'm sorry, but I think that's a better word to do that. Appoint Sarah, sorry, Cyril, I didn't get the last name, but Sarah, to be at the place, to be at the Canada Day event for face painting from 3 to 6. Do I need to say wages as well? No. Okay. Can someone make a motion to adopt? Sorry, can someone make a motion? Cyril and Len, all in favor? Motion approved. Perfect, thank you. 5.C, we heard from Kyle earlier, but let's just hear more in detail from him about sub-working group for beer garden update.
You basically heard the details of it. It's we were waiting to hear back from this brewery and we haven't heard back. So I've reached out to the Canettes and they've graciously offered their services for running the beer gardens for us. So we've given it to Claire. Claire's going to take it back to the Canettes and just get confirmation, and the Canettes will run our beer garden for us.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the update. Then it's 5.D, fireworks update. Alice?
So we did receive multiple quotes for fireworks. Unfortunately, with the last meeting not reaching quorum, we were not able to bring those quotes to the committee to make the final decision. Staff had to make the decision due to the companies requiring the need to know. So we have booked actually the same provider as last year.
Yeah, they were great actually. Yeah, they were. Do we have a detail of the quotes if you can share with the members?
As far as the dollar amounts?
Dollar amount and the timing is the same timing as last year.
Timing is the same, yes. Just give me 1 second here. So it's going to be 13 to 14 minute show. It's going to have the music again. Sorry, I'm just pulling up my emails here. And it came in just under $13,000.
Wow.
All the quotes were very similar in price. They were very similar in what they provided. So we had 5 different staff members look at it, and they were so comparable within dollar differences that we felt one would have been a little bit cheaper. They offered if we agreed to a 3-year term, but staff didn't want to commit to a 3-year term without bringing that to the committee. And because everybody was very happy with what provided last year, we made that decision.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'd like to thank the staff member for taking a step and making sure we have a fireworks at our Canada Day. Thank you. Any questions for Alice regarding firework update that she provided? No, we're good. Alice, we don't need any motion on that because it's already tabled, I believe. Yes. Okay, good. Perfect. That brings us to 5.E, sponsors and vendor update. I'm gonna begin myself first. I have 2 vendors that will be coming into event. One is just launching their business, and they'll be in the market like just about the same, around about the same time. So they want to actually launch it right at Canada Day. So they were so excited to be a part of that area. Obviously, it's not for free, that they are going to pay us for sure. I confirm that area as well. Another one is basically just recently opened Maxcellent Burrito in town on Main Street, or Owensound Street rather, downtown. They have expressed interest and they will be joining us at the vendor booth. So those two updates are there. I'm in discussion with Pizza right now. Friend of mine actually sort of a co-owner of that. So because of the legal work, they have to go through the entire, the upper management and so on. It is taking him to give me a confirmation on that. But again, I'm on that right now. Anyone else has to share anything? Yes, Kyle.
Okay, so I've asked Lindsay to help us out with getting events and sponsors and vendors, and she's been, as she always is, absolutely insane. So I got a few things to throw at the committee here. There is somebody by the name of Jennifer. She has secured the cornholes from the Legion, and she wants to bring those out for an event for us. Alice, do we need to have insurance for that? How do we, so she has to provide that, or can we as a committee cover her just to have the cornholes there? How do we deal with this?
Are they having a booth
No,
where the cornhole is going to be? Or
No.
it's just, no? Okay.
it's just to do an event. Just to add to the event.
Right. Okay. So are they staffing it or
will
they're
staff it.
just, okay. Can I get back to you on that one, Kyle?
Please, yes. Okay. Second one we have is, what do we got? She literally bombarded me today. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Let's see. Not that one. That one. We have somebody by the name of Doug. He runs the men's baseball league and he's interested in doing some kind of an event for us as well. Again, Alice, I'll need you to get back to me on insurance. He has insurance and understands the requirements and he's okay with it. So I guess that was not a big deal. So that one's okay. We have a Tyler from Home and Land Artesian. They're a landscaping company. He wants to participate. He wants to do possibly an event like a bubble wand making. Again, Alice, get back to me on insurance and all that sort of stuff if you could. We have Claire and Dave we already talked to. And then Lindsay also has a bunch of food vendors that I will get back to and make sure that I send them to our website for filling out the forms and everything else. So things are ramping up. And I do want to put a big kudos to Lindsay for helping us out on this one. She's done a whole lot of heavy lifting for us and certainly provided an awful lot.
Well, thank you, Kyle, and well, definitely you're going to pass on that thank to Lindsay as well. So please do so. But yeah, anyone else has any other update? Any question, follow-up question for what Kyle had just presented to us? Nope. Good. Anyone else would like to share what they've worked on or they reached out to? Perfect, I guess. No. All right. Alice, any other area that we're missing out?
One thing that's not on the agenda, but if I can just speak to at the meeting that wasn't a meeting last month, it was requested that we get some staff to come to a meeting to help plan the layout of the event. and potentially have a meeting at the park closer to the event so we can help plan that layout. And so I have confirmed that staff are willing and able to come to a meeting to help discuss the layout. We do need to have a little bit more idea of how many vendor booths and stuff we're going to have, a little bit more of idea of what type of space the fun zone is going to need, what type of space the fire department, because they might need a little bit more space based on what they were offering. So that's why we didn't have them come to this meeting. But I did want you to be aware that they are willing to come and discuss that with the committee, and we can definitely look at meeting at the park closer to as well if necessary. And then the only other note that I had was in regard to volunteer flyers. And that's all my note says. I don't know if Len was going to try and talk to high school students or if Kyle was making flyers or what that was, if either of you have a recollection there. But I had a note about flyers.
It was provided that I would certainly be open to designing flyers. I believe Brian said that he would print them off, and I think Len was potentially looking to get them into the schools.
Yep, that's pretty much.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
But the part that's missing is somebody designing the flyer. Is that what I'm understanding then?
I'll design a flyer. If you tell me that you want me to design a flyer, I'll design a flyer. Just tell me what you want to have on it. Volunteers needed.
Volunteers needed.
Yeah.
Our opportunity to get phenomenal hours for. Yeah.
Okay, so then leave that with me. I will have that designed and I will send that to the committee through email. I can do that, Alice, right? That doesn't have to have a. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'll design up a flyer. I'll send it to the committee. Just make sure everybody is happy with what's there. And if we need to add, delete, whatever, then you tell me.
Good, Brian?
We originally needed to get the flyer approved for the Upper Grand District School Board so we could raffle the bike off from Ken Bennington. I don't know how long that process takes.
Okay, so
Brian, does that flyer come from Bennington or does that flyer come from us?
We've always made it.
Okay.
That's what I've always printed off that we've handed to the schools. So
we made the main flyer, but he still gave us a banner to put on for the raffle. So are you in communication with him, Brian? Can you ask him for that banner again?
I can when I get home.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not home for another 2 weeks. So
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll send him an email then. Okay,
all right.
I'll send him an email. All right, just
Perfect. Thank you,
you
Brian.
know,
And thank you, Kyle, as well. All right, that brings us to item 6, adjourn, I guess. Any other does anyone have anything to discuss before we adjourn for today? Look all good. Okay, if that's the case, I'd like to basically put a motion forward to adjourn our meeting today, and we can be back again towards the end of the month. Can someone make a motion to adjourn the meeting? Kyle, second. Len, all in favor? I do. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Happy Thursday. Enjoy the rest of the, I guess, the upcoming weekend. And we'll connect back with you in 2 weeks.